In the cultivation tank, a sprite egg slowly forms. Done. Li Qiuran looked satisfied. Xiao Gang. Anchor, you actually created an elf egg. Sakaki. I am truly a broadcaster. I want to create elves to conquer the world, so I also need to accelerate my pace. Shirona. Young man, could you communicate with me? Mr. Li Qiuran, how did you create this magical creature called an elf? A journalist broke through and almost stuffed the microphone into Li Qiuran's nose. There is no talent to speak of, only persistent effort, Li Qiuran replied. Elf world. Anonymous. Why is your little fist stone so strong? This is unreasonable. Xiao Gang, sneer, expert demeanor JPG. Because what little fist stone eats and drinks far exceeds the quality of this dimension. This book is also known as, The Technological Attributes of This Anchor Are About to Break the Table, I Keep Flying with Full Biotechnology Points, and, The Elves I Create Are Two Excellent, Novel Keywords. Me, Live Creation Elf No Pop-Ups, Me, Live Creation Elf TXT Complete Collection Download, Me, Live Creation Elf Latest Chapter Reading. Chapter 1. The Birth of Elf Eggs. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 1 The Birth of Elf Eggs Within the Laboratory. Li Qiuran was wearing a white lab suit, staring intently at the computer screen with his right hand typing rapidly on the keyboard. At the forefront of the laboratory, there are 3 gene slots. The gene slot on the left is filled with green liquid, and the milky white gene seeds float quietly in the liquid. As gene codes are combined one after another, new liquid is continuously injected into one of the gene slots. The genetic seeds are constantly changing in color, and their shapes are also beginning to distort and change. The patterns of gene seeds gradually become clear, and the interior also slowly beats, like a beating heart. Li Qiuran continued to operate like this for nearly an hour until his fingers were already sore before stopping. Completion rate of 98%. It's almost there. He rubbed his eyes and closed them to rest for a moment. The biology exhibition will start in a few days, and there is not much time left for oneself. The sudden sound that appeared in Li Qiuran's mind made him look confused as the live broadcast system was activated and inviting the audience. Live streaming system. Did you, like the protagonists in those novels, gain a golden finger? He immediately checked the function of the live streaming system. Live streaming one's daily life or work, viewers' rewards can be redeemed as live streaming points, which can exchange products in the mall. Click to open the shopping mall. Currently only available for purchase are free attribute points +1 and spiritual potions, refreshing, efficient work for 12 hours without fatigue. For Li Qiuran, who has been working continuously for 10 hours, the spiritual potion is simply a miracle. But now there are no viewers in the live broadcast room, and I don't have any live streaming points myself. There is no time to think too much. To save the Red and White Company, it is necessary to create new creatures as soon as possible. Temporarily forget about the live streaming system and immediately get back to work. Little did they know that shortly after working, the live broadcast room invited the first audience. Successfully invited Xiao Gang to join the live broadcast room. In the world of elves, Xiao Gang looked bewildered. While applying medicine to Xiao Quancher, an electronic sound suddenly rang in my mind and I joined a live broadcast room. Watching Li Qiuran busy in front of the computer, Xiao Gang posted a barrage. Xiao Gang. What's the situation? Who pulled me in? No one replied, and the anchor on the screen looked focused, completely unaffected. Xiao Gang noticed the announcement in the live broadcast room. Hosts biological world. Humans can create unique genetic organisms by fabricating and combining biological gene codes. Is there another world? Isn't the host from the elf world? Xiao Gang looked shocked and looked seriously at Li Qiuran, who was busy on the screen. Full of expectations for live streaming content. He saw the experimental slot on the screen, and the objects inside were gradually forming the shape of an egg. I'm actually watching the birth of a creature. Xiao Gang breathed quickly and looked nervous. The live broadcast content was extremely attractive to him, who loved elves very much. He immediately carried the elves back to the house and watched them carefully. Completion rate 98.67%, Direction 1. Gene Z976. Direction 2. S890, the addition of Z976 can make the overall situation more stable. Although S890 is unstable, it can have more possibilities. Stable creatures are greater than everything, so choose Z976. Li Qiuran pondered in his heart, his speed constantly increasing. Completion rate 78.79%, completion rate 99.25%, the final progress is slow, and Li Qiuran needs to consider the gene combinations made earlier to prevent the final step from falling short. Once there is an error, it needs to be recreated. So Li Qiuran must be careful and cautious. But this has made Xiao Gang suffer. Watching a man typing on the keyboard for nearly half an hour, worried about missing the birth of a new life due to distraction, he could only endure drowsiness and stare at the screen. Finally, Li Qiuran stopped moving. Completed. He slammed the table with excitement in his bloodshot eyes. He wiped his sweat and looked contentedly at the formed egg in the gene slot. This is an egg with a red and yellow body. The middle part is an elliptical yellow, and the remaining parts are red. Gulu gulu. The slight boiling of the green liquid in the gene slot clearly indicates that the internal temperature is not low. From this perspective, it is highly likely that this genetic organism is an elemental organism. But why is the shape of an egg so familiar? Anyway, this is the first gene organism I've created. Let's take a look first. Li Qiuran threw his confusion behind him, his eyes filled with joy, and he immediately pressed the button to disperse the liquid in the gene slot. Take a small step forward and gently embrace the egg. The egg is very hard, although it shows high temperature in the gene pool, there is only a slight warmth when held in the arms, as warm as holding a pretty girl. For some unknown reason, Li Qiuran felt that he could feel the joy inside the egg, perhaps this was also the reason why he did not burn it. The creatures inside the egg seem to have developed consciousness. Li Qiuran observed carefully. The elliptical yellow pattern is relatively bright, emitting a faint glow under the light. The surrounding red patterns slowly ignite a faint flame, bright and full of vitality, giving Li Qiuran's handsome face a faint layer of red. Li Qiuran's palm was not in the flames, and the touch was like a summer evening breeze, warm and gentle, just a touch away. This is actually an elemental egg. It's still a fire attribute. Li Qiuran felt ecstatic inside. To be precise, this is the first elemental creature of red and white company, and also the last hope. He involuntarily tightened his grip on the egg, afraid of accidentally breaking it. Dong dong dong. He seemed to feel the vitality of the inner small life. There was a faint connection between the egg and the dark. Completed. Xiao Gang, who was almost asleep, suddenly gave a wake-up call and rubbed his sleepy eyes to look around. Familiar eggs, familiar shapes and patterns. Why does it always feel like we've met before? Then he exclaimed in surprise, damn it, isn't this an elf egg? As an excellent elf cultivator and trainer, Xiao Gang swears that even if the sky falls, he will definitely not be mistaken. Xiao Gang. Anchor, you created an elf egg. How did you do it? Excited, Xiao Gang immediately sent a barrage. Only then did Li Qiuran notice the barrage. Elf egg. He first looked bewildered, then looked surprised. The dusty memories in my mind awaken. Yeah. No wonder they are so familiar. Isn't this egg the elf egg of Little Fire Dragon? Did I create the Little Fire Dragon? Dong dong. The little life inside seemed to vibrate slightly. Xiao Gang. This pattern and attribute are definitely the Pokémon egg of Little Fire Dragon. How did you do it? You actually created Little Fire Dragon. Xiao Gang replied excitedly, it's hard to imagine that elves can be created in this way. I believe it. You're really not from the elf world, Anchor. His values were impacted at this moment. He actually saw the birth of a fairy egg in a different world. He couldn't help but think of the eternal debate in the elf world. Whether there were spirits or eggs first. Scholars throughout history have been arguing fiercely about this topic. Now Xiao Gang just wants to stand up and loudly tell them, you're wrong, you have eggs first and then sperm. So it seems that perhaps the elves in the elf world are also created by humans. Looking at the barrage, Li Qiuran could feel the shock of the other person through the screen. The name of the audience is Xiao Gang. Is it that little guy he is? End of this chapter. Chapter 2. High-Tech Incubation Room. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2 High-Tech Incubation Room. Your name is Xiao Gang. Xiao Gang. That's right. Are you Xiao Gang, the owner of the Rock Art Museum in Nibi City? Xiao Gang. How did you know, Anchor? Sleeping in bed. No. Li Qiuran took a deep breath and continued, do you like mature women? Me so. Xiao Gang's face immediately turned red and he typed in frustration. Xiao Gang. Of course not. Anchor, don't talk nonsense. Xiao Gang was a bit incoherent. The secret deep within himself was discovered, which made him wish he could dig a hole and get in. The society has died. Okay, it's me. Li Qiuran confirmed. My live stream audience really comes from the elf world. I really created elves myself. Li Qiuran felt the warmth of the elf egg in her arms, her gaze blank. In his past life, he was a loyal fan of elves, fantasizing about obtaining elves and embarking on his own adventure. So after crossing into this world, I decisively chose to become a biological designer. I hope to restore the elf as much as possible with my own abilities. Unexpectedly, he actually created an elf himself. Everything seems like a dream. I hope I won't wake up. For a moment, Li Qiuran took a deep breath and recalled the details of Little Fire Dragon in his mind. Little Fire Dragon is a lizard-shaped fire attribute elf that often moves in hot areas. It is an omnivorous animal that prefers to eat meat and can be equipped with special energy blocks as snacks. Little Fire Dragon has a gentle personality and is very loyal. Once a trainer is identified, they will not betray. Xiao Gang. Who are you, Anchor? How do you know so much? I come from another world, and having some abilities is normal. Li Qiuran answered the barrage while walking towards the cultivation room holding the elf egg. Xiao Gang said, it makes sense that different worlds have different abilities, it's really amazing. Xiao Gang didn't think much either. I saw Li Qiuran walking lightly to the door of the adjacent breeding room. There is a planter-like creature next to the gate. This is a drip basin. As long as you spit in your mouth, he will determine whether to open the door based on your DNA. At the same time, he also needs to align your face with the flower pot, which will perform facial recognition and double guarantee. Xiao Gang. Hello, opening this door is too laborious, isn't it? If you feel nauseous, you can also use your hair as a substitute, Li Qiuran shrugged. DNA recognition plus facial recognition. Welcome home, the flower pot unfolded, revealing a smiling face. Buzz. The door of the cultivation room slowly opened, revealing the internal situation. The warm milky yellow color tone, the milky aroma of the air, and a customized incubation platform are placed in the middle of the cultivation room. Carefully place the Pokémon egg on a soft cushion on the incubator and press the button. The incubator slowly spewed out unknown white gas, with a faint floral fragrance, and the room also heard natural flowing water and the sound of birds chirping. This is a nutrient gas that can promote the hatching speed of organisms, while also enhancing their physical fitness. Li Qiuran paused. The entire cultivation room can simulate the environment closest to nature, providing the best growth environment for elves. Li Qiuran operated on the touchpad on the wall for a while, and the lighting in the cultivation room gradually dimmed. The dim ceiling lit up with stars, and golden dots occasionally passed over the elf egg. Soft cicadas chirped around, accompanied by a gentle evening breeze, creating a strong sense of immersion. The elf egg trembled slightly, conveying a joyful mood. Li Qiuran seemed to see an orange elf excitedly shouting at him. This made him lose consciousness for a moment, and only when he regained consciousness did he realize that the elf egg was still the same egg, but the joy conveyed did indeed exist. Elves have a considerable level of intelligence. This made him even more eager for the scene of a small life breaking through its shell. After watching the barrage in the live broadcast room, it was empty. Number of online users. 1. What a tragedy. A broadcaster awakened the live streaming system, only to receive one audience. Li Qiuran couldn't help feeling a bit disappointed, but she quickly adjusted her mood. It's getting close to night now, so the cultivation room will be transformed into a nighttime environment. There are a total of 1,078 miniature biological cameras on the walls of the cultivation room, which can adjust the gas in the room by detecting the status of the elf eggs. Conservatively estimated, under strict control of various measures, the incubation time of elf eggs can be reduced by at least 15%, while the health level can increase by 20%. Close the door, return to the laboratory, and switch the biological computer to the cultivation room screen, which can achieve 24-hour monitoring. The first 24 hours are crucial. Due to the lack of manpower, Li Qiuran could only do it himself. Xiao Gang has already looked foolish. The technological level of the elf world is not low, but it is not as comprehensive as the biological world. From the creation of elves to the hatching of elf eggs. The entire process was refreshing to Xiao Gang. Xiao Gang. Anchor, the technology in your world is amazing. Can you introduce me to your world? Xiao Gang couldn't help but say. It's okay. It's quite outstanding in biology. Li Qiuran pondered for a moment and began to introduce her own world. This is a world that specializes in biotechnology. Starting from elementary school, everyone will receive compulsory education related to biology. And humans also have unique talents in biology. By fabricating and combining biological gene codes, they can create unique genetic organisms. In terms of creating creatures, there are very few restrictions. As long as you don't create creatures with strong destructive power, irritable personalities, and harmful to society, you won't be checked for water meters. Due to extreme openness and freedom, biotechnology is growing rapidly every year. The gate of the previous cultivation room and the control of weather and temperature both involve advanced genetic organisms. However, such advanced genetic organisms will not be open for sale to the general public. And 5 years ago, a brand new elemental creature was created. Elemental organisms have added attribute abilities on the basis of genetic organisms, such as fire, water, thunder, etc. In comparison, the attractiveness of ordinary genetically modified organisms is inevitably inferior. Li Qiuran's family business and Red and White Company were once outstanding in the industry, and their genetic biology was imitated by various genetic companies. However, the good times did not last long. With the development of elemental organisms, the older generation of ordinary genetic organisms gradually became sewers. But Li Qiuran's father believed that ordinary genetic organisms could still occupy a certain market share, so he did not make corresponding changes. Result: Red and White Company fell from grace in just 3 years, and Li Qiuran's parents died in a car accident afterwards. 15 days ago, Li Qiuran, who had just graduated from Xiao First Gene University, hurried back home to take over the bankrupt Red and White Company. To revive the Red and White Company, it is necessary to create innovative and selling attribute creatures. Due to the debt owed by the Red and White Company, they couldn't even afford to hire a researcher, so Li Qiuran was the only one operating the laboratory. The only turning point now is the Regional Biology Exhibition in 15 days. The Regional Biology Exhibition is one of the most closely watched exhibitions in the Alliance, and major companies will showcase their research and development of flagship organisms at the exhibition, hoping to become famous in the first battle. After listening to these, Xiao Gang had some admiration for Li Qiuran. Just graduated students can shoulder the heavy burden of their own companies, which is not something that ordinary people can do. The two exchanged information about their respective worlds, which can be considered as establishing a preliminary connection. At this moment it was already late and Xiao Gang felt a little sleepy, so he bid farewell to Li Qiuran and went to bed. Number of people in the live broadcast room. 0. The vast laboratory was silent, staring blankly at the elf egg on the screen, and Li Qiuran couldn't help but feel drowsy. He hasn't closed his eyes for nearly 30 hours. Hold on, there are still 24 hours left. Li Qiuran yawned and rubbed her eyes. My head is getting bigger and bigger, no matter how I look at it, I can't hold on anymore. He had to get up and wash his face, walking towards the breeding room. The door opened, and Li Qiuran sat on the stool in the breeding room, staring blankly at the elf egg. When I used to play games, I liked to choose the initial little fire dragon. Gradually cultivating and defeating the Taoist master to become the champion is a very fulfilling thing. Muttering to himself, little fire dragon, you need to grow up quickly. Gaha. Li Qiuran seemed to hear a slight response in his mind. This swept away his drowsiness. Is this a response? Little fire dragon is responding. Are you male or female? Gaha. Well, with a soft and weak voice, she might be a girl, Li Qiuran muttered to herself. When will you hatch? I'm so anxious. Gaha. Almost, okay, I'm looking forward to it. What do you like to eat? I'll prepare it in advance. Gaha. Okay, omnivorous. At first, let's drink genetic milk. After birth, we need to do a test to mix the most suitable milk for you. Don't add any meat as a snack anymore. One person, one elf answered the question in this way. The long night was long, and soon the elf egg had no movement, clearly falling into a deep sleep. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. The beginning of the campaign. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. The beginning of the campaign on a new day, the first thing Xiao Gang did after washing up was to enter the live broadcast room. Xiao Gang enters the live room. Xiao Gang. Good morning, Anchor. I'll go, Anchor. Did you stay up all night? Yes, I need to constantly pay attention to the condition of the elf egg. Li Qiuran's eyes were bloodshot, and she twisted her head stiffly like a walking corpse. The first 12 hours have passed, and elf egg is in good condition. Li Qiuran couldn't help but yawn. Xiao Gang. I'm really dedicated. With Xiao Gang's company, Li Qiuran also became more energetic and the two started chatting. From the biological world to the elf world. Xiao Gang said, the live broadcast room is really amazing. It can connect two worlds. Perhaps this is fate. The elf world is very beautiful, and I hope to have the opportunity to visit it in the future. Li Qiuran, who had not rested enough, had a confused mind and rubbed her temples, her eyes filled with longing. Xiao Gang. The biological world is also very magical. I also want to learn more. Xiao Gang saw a magical genetic biological worldview from Li Qiuran's description and couldn't wait to see more about the daily life of the biological world. Li Qiuran is very excited. Since you can create elves yourself, why not transform the biological world into a second elven world? I will definitely have a great sense of achievement. Gaha. Elfegg felt Li Qiuran's heart and trembled slightly. The flames around him flickered, making his own response. You're fine, staying comfortably inside the egg. Li Qiuran touched the elf egg, feeling still warm, but the shell was not completely hard. At the moment when Li Qiuran touched the egg, the surrounding light flickered slightly, and the pattern of the elf egg shone with a soft luster under the soft light, as if responding to Li Qiuran's touch. Xiao Gang. Little fire dragon really likes you. Xiao Gang looked envious in his eyes. Although he is now the owner of the Taoist temple, he has always wanted to become the best elf cultivator. As one of the 3 imperial families in the Guandu region, Xiahulong is beyond the reach of ordinary people. At this point, the door to the cultivation room opens. Boss, aren't you going to create genetically modified organisms? Why in the breeding room? Secretary Qin Yuyu's gentle voice rang out. Qin Yuyu and Li Qiuran are childhood sweethearts. Since the death of Li Qiuran's parents, she has been supporting the business of the Red and White Company. Soon she noticed the elf egg lying quietly on the incubator. The voice paused and then became incredulous. This is the egg you created. Yes, Li Qiuran nodded proudly. Gaha. The flames around the elf egg shook in response. In just over a dozen days, have you actually created a creature? Qin Yuyu covered her mouth and looked at the red and yellow Pokémon egg in shock, her eyes drawn to the eye-catching flames surrounding the Pokémon egg. Did I read it wrong? Boss, you pinch me, my eyes seem to have a problem. There's actually fire on this egg. Qin Yuyu rubbed his eyes. It's impossible, even if your boss is a genius, it's impossible to create elemental creatures in just over 10 days. They are still very popular fire-type creatures. Recently, I have been sleeping less during my beauty sleep, and I have even experienced hallucinations. Oh my eyes are severely damaged, I need to burn more incense. Elemental creatures are not bad streets. To successfully create them, it is necessary to have a strong team and invest heavily in research. If the difficulty of ordinary genetic organisms is 1, then elemental organisms are 10. How could a newly graduated student like Li Qiuran possibly create elemental creatures? It should be noted that the individual annual salary of a team that can create elemental creatures is at least millions of alliance coins. For someone like Li Qiuran, who has just graduated and is estimated to earn less than 200,000 yuan per year in the league, it takes at least 5 years of hard work to reach 1 million. Seeing Qin Yuyu's bewildered expression, Li Qiuran couldn't help but laugh and touched the elf egg. You didn't read it wrong. Oh my goodness. I've never seen an egg with such high looks before. It's not an illusion. Qin Yuyu strode forward, his eyes fixed on the elf egg with a look of wanting to touch but not daring to touch it. Touch it, flames won't hurt anyone, Li Qiuran smiled. Qin Yuyu waited for Li Qiuran's words and immediately took action. It's very warm, without any burning sensation. She looked surprised and took out her phone to fiercely pat the Pokémon egg. Then there was a look of heartache on his face. You've only created elemental creatures in a few days. Boss, you must be exhausted. It's okay, Li Qiuran smiled shyly, but her smile was full of fatigue. We are preparing to create momentum for Elf Egg recently, and our Red and White Company is about to rise. Gaha. The flame of the Elf Egg suddenly flashed, showing its strong fighting spirit. Hey, you're just an egg. You'll know how to share the worries and solve the difficulties, Qin Yuyu joked with a smile. I'll leave first, pay attention to rest. Finally, he made a cheer gesture and walked happily out of the breeding room. Xiao Gang said, Anchor, your subordinates are really charming new era women. She is more beautiful than Ms. Joey. Xiao Gang blushed. Li Qiuran. Are you polite? Shortly thereafter, a video was posted on the official website of the Red and White Company. The momentum has officially begun. Jean Kiki used to be a loyal fan of Red and White Company, but in recent years, the genetic biology launched by Red and White Company is ordinary and has a tendency to eat old roots, so he no longer pays attention to it. During today's class, she casually opened her phone and browsed through her Weibo. The struggle before the bankruptcy of Red and White Company. Is this egg a rising biological egg or a self-destructive TJ egg? The headline of a news article caught Jean Keek's attention. Is it really fake? The Red and White Company hasn't given up yet. Jean Keek clicked on the news. Video playback. The entrance is an exquisite breeding room, which is eye-catching. Although Red and White Company is on the brink of bankruptcy, its infrastructure is definitely top-notch in the industry, Jean Keek praised. But soon her gaze was drawn to the elf egg in the middle of the screen. Beautiful and exquisite. This is an adjective that she can think of. How could an egg look so beautiful? What's even more eye-catching is that the faint flame ignited on the egg sways gently in the evening breeze, paired with the gentle chirping of cicadas in the breeding room, making the world seem to be banned at this moment. All that catches the eye is the flicker of tranquil self-illuminating flames. At this moment, Jean Keek lost his ability to speak and his brain instantly froze. The pressure originally caused by academic performance was also swept away. This scene is too healing. Her hands couldn't help but tremble, and the impulse to buy reached its peak. I want to chop my hands again. It's so beautiful. This egg should be on fire. Oh, no, when can Red and White Company create elemental creatures? Jean Keek discovered a blind spot. If the research capabilities of the Red and White Company were so strong, they wouldn't be on the brink of bankruptcy. With such confusion, Jean Keek flipped the scroll wheel and slid to the comment. Xiao Bai. Damn it, this cliff is a special effect. Loyal fan of flowing water. Don't worry, the Red and White Company has the intention to create such special effects. If we focus on creativity, we won't go bankrupt. Eye of wisdom. To be honest, Red and White Company has only recently remembered the popularity of elemental creatures. It has been several years now, and even eating xiang does not bring any warmth. Mom. Agree, this wave of dying self-destructions is suffocating. Seeing this, Jean Keek's face was so angry that it was almost crooked. Although I haven't purchased a biological product from Red and White Company for a long time, I still recognize this company that considers genetic biology and customers in my heart. If a Red and White Company wants to cheat, there is no need to cheat when it is on the brink of bankruptcy. She immediately started leaving messages. Invincible cute beauty girl. Red and White Company roast duck, I'll buy this elemental creature right away. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. Breaking the Shell. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4 Breaking the Shell. The Pokémon egg of Red and White Company has caused quite a stir, even on a hot search. The tranquility and distance in the video, along with the self-illuminating elf egg, left a deep impression on everyone. Many loyal fans of Red and White Companies have come forward to express their expectations. But more voices still question it. A company that focuses on ordinary genetic organisms launched an elemental creature before bankruptcy, which looks like a trick no matter what. An old fan wrote an emotional article. My family started buying biology from the Red and White Company 10 years ago, from the macaque to the dull rabbit later on. It's not an exaggeration to say that half of the little cuteness in our family comes from the Red and White Company. For our family, the Red and White Company has a special meaning. In recent years, we have seen the desolation of the Red and White Company and are anxious in our hearts. But we are just individuals, and it is difficult for individuals to save the overall situation. All we can do is contribute insignificant sales. The style of Red and White Company is best known to us old customers, who have been steadfast in their original intentions for 10 years and have implemented comprehensive biomedical measures. It can be said that although Red and White Company is not the most cost-effective company, it is definitely the most conscientious company. You may not love, but don't hurt. You may not believe it, but please respect it. As loyal customers, we want to accompany Red and White Company on the final journey. I also hope that the Red and White Company will adhere to its original intention, respect customers, and respect itself. Supreme, an insignificant old customer. Xiao Gang. Anchor, your company's fans are really good. After reading the comments, Xiao Gang couldn't help but speak up. Yeah, so we need to work hard to break through the shell, right, little fire dragon? Li Qiuran smiled and touched the elf egg. He has developed a fondness for the touch of elf eggs, as comfortable as touching his girlfriend's hand. Gaha. The flames on the elf egg flickered, full of fighting spirit. After 10 days of careful care, various data from the laboratory indicate that the day of elf egg's shell breaking is approaching. The silence of the Red and White Company during this period has been seen by the outside world as a manifestation of guilt. A moment of verbal and written criticism. The more fierce the scolding, the higher the potential fan conversion. Li Qiuran is looking forward to the day when Little Fire Dragon appears at the biology exhibition. The day for the hatching of elf eggs has arrived, and Li Qiuran and Qin Yuyu have been waiting in the breeding room for a long time. Meanwhile, Xiao Gang also entered the live broadcast room early. Please incubate elemental creatures, please. Qin Yuyu wore a competent professional suit, hands clasped together, and closed her eyes in anticipation. Xiao Gang. Miss Qin Yuyu is really beautiful. The fierce man blushed. Gaha, the elf egg trembled slightly, and the red patterns around its body became even more prominent, as if its face had turned red. Being surrounded by people makes me feel a bit shy. But my lovely self cannot disappoint everyone's expectations. Then work hard. The elf egg began to tremble violently, and flames flickered on the eggshell. 5 minutes have passed, and the elf egg is still trembling, while the eggshell remains unchanged. The little fire dragon was a bit anxious, and the light on the elf egg flickered several times in a row. He couldn't wait to show everyone the appearance of his broken shell. Xiao Gang. Elves need a long time to hatch, and as they work hard to break through their shells, they will gradually become familiar with their own power. I suggest you pour a glass of water and wait quietly. As an excellent elf cultivator, Xiao Gang has seen too many elves born, and it takes nearly an hour for each elf to break its shell. Just as the speech ended, I heard a click. A small crack appeared at the top of the elf egg, and then, centered around the crack, countless small cracks spread throughout the entire elf egg. The seemingly hard eggshell at the top shattered like a loose castle. A small orange head peeked out with a white, egg-mixed shell, and looked curiously at this unfamiliar world. The pure air and a faint auxiliary aroma at the tip of his nose further invigorated him. With the addition of biotechnology and gas, the hatching speed and physical fitness of elves will have significant characteristics, said Li Qiuran with a slight curve at the corner of her mouth. Although I couldn't see Xiao Gang's expression, Li Qiuran knew that the other person's face must have been restless. How can you slap your face in seconds? Is this the technological level of the biological world? It's so amazing. Xiao Gang blushed and sighed. Is this a lizard? A red lizard. But this is too cute, isn't it? Is this a cute pet series? Woo-woo, I also want one. Qin Yuyu's eyes lit up with a little love, and she looked intoxicated as she rubbed her hands and prepared to stroke the little dragon. In everyone's eyes, Little Fire Dragon looked around in confusion, his eyes shy. When he saw Li Qiuran, his eyes lit up and he shouted at Li Qiuran, stretching out his small paws to pick up the eggshell and try to climb out. Quickly, he pulled the eggshell filled with egg liquid to his side and stumbled out of it, while everyone also saw the full picture of Little Fire Dragon. With an orange body and a milky yellow belly, and a lizard-shaped head, he looks like a reptile overall. His mouth has 4 small snow-white teeth, and the most shocking thing is the fiery tail behind him. After Xiao Huolong let out a roar, he began to stumble towards Li Qiuran. Li Qiuran had been with him for the past few days, so he had a natural fondness for him. Xiao Gang. It's so cute, the little dragon is really so cute. Xiao Gang from the elf world let out his aunt's smile. Be careful. Li Qiuran ran 3 steps and 2 steps in front of the little fire dragon, squatting down and gently picking it up, feeling proud inside. I succeeded, I created the first elf in this world. Little fire dragon obediently stayed in Li Qiuran's arms, his small tail with flames swaying in the air, with a hint of drowsiness in his eyes. He had just been born and felt a bit sleepy. Although Li Qiuran was creating elves for the first time, he knew the relevant knowledge very well. He immediately carried the little dragon to the specially prepared cultivation chamber in the laboratory and gently placed it. The cultivation chamber would provide the little dragon with newborn food and a place to sleep. After Li Qiuran closed the cultivation hatch, Qin Yuyu trembled her lips and stuttered incoherently, asking, "Is the fire on the tail a fire?" "Fire, it's fire." Li Qiuran blinked his eyes and answered honestly. "Fire. Is it really fire?" Qin Yuyu covered her mouth, unable to believe it. Her legs, dressed in black silk, were even a bit unstable. The flame control power on this tail is unparalleled domestically and internationally, right? This means that this elemental creature is likely to become the first fire-type creature in Xia country. My boss is so powerful. Gulong is truly my boss and childhood sweetheart. Feeling the gradually burning gaze, Li Qiuran naturally felt extremely proud in his heart, but he pretended to be plain on the surface and waved his hand. "It's just controlling the flame, it's very simple." "Simple?" Qin Yuyu exclaimed in surprise, "You're too Versailles, you'll get beaten if you leave it outside." "What is his name?" "His name is Xiahulong, and I'm planning to name him Tianhua Supreme," said Li Qiuran. Qin Yuyu. Xiao Gang went crazy and said, No, he's called Little Fire Dragon. What kind of ghost is the Heavenly Fire Supreme? The name, Heavenly Fire Supreme, is quite domineering, said Li Qiuran with a positive expression on his face. Since we have all arrived in the new world, of course we need to give our elves a domineering name. I will become the father of the world elves in the future. Xiao Gang said, "No, you're not allowed to call the Heavenly Fire Supreme." Xiao Gang let out a helpless cry. Finally, Li Qiuran reluctantly gave Little Fire Dragon its original name. "The Heavenly Fire Supreme is the best name I've ever given," murmured the speaker. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Elves, A Beautiful Night. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5 Elves, A Beautiful Night. Starting from today, Red and White Company will transform the world, and the era of elves is about to begin. Li Qiuran said confidently. Every genius is arrogant in the eyes of others. If Li Qiuran's remarks were known by outsiders, they would definitely lead to online bullying and collapse of the Red and White Company. Xiao Gang. Anchor Nyobi. I support you. Rush. After hearing Li Qiuran's remarks, Xiao Gang felt his blood boil and wished to immediately reward Li Qiuran with all his wealth. Little Fire Dragon successfully created, upgraded the live broadcast room to LV.2, and enabled the tipping function. Xiao Gang. Cough, what do you mean? Xiao Gang casually took out the wound medicine from his pocket. Xiao Gang rewarded the anchor with 1 low-level injury medicine. Xiao Gang. The wound medicine is the wound medicine, what low-level to add? Xiao Gang said, a small gift is not a sign of respect. Extract. Li Qiuran quietly saw a healing potion in his hand. The shape is similar to the nose spray, and the liquid inside is clear. Interesting, will we investigate later? Is there any restriction on the use of this injury medicine? Li Qiuran asked. He remembers that the healing medicine in the elf world seems to be universal. Xiao Gang proudly raised his head and said, of course not. All elves can use it. The healing effect of our elf world is amazing. Is there any healing medicine for elves in the elf world? Li Qiuran asked. There will eventually be some differences between games, anime, and the world of elves. For the sake of conservatism, Li Qiuran still wants to learn more about the elf world in detail. Xiao Gang. So finely divided. Xiao Gang's proud expression froze, and suddenly felt a sense of being hit by dimensionality reduction. Li Qiuran pondered, if we look at it from our world's perspective, we should create different healing medicines for different elves. Let me study the wound medicine first. After speaking, Li Qiuran took the wound medicine back to the laboratory and carefully studied it. Xiao Gang remained silent, the feeling of being despised was not good. As Li Qiuran was busy, he said, we have hundreds of miniature biological cameras in our cultivation module that can capture the body data of the little fire dragon 360 degrees without dead angles. Now these data have been loaded into the computer. I can always make the most suitable food and medicine for little fire dragon based on this data. Let me take a look at your medicine first. Li Qiuran opened the spray box and placed it in a special instrument to scan. Xiao Gang held his breath as he watched, with the idea that the healing medicine of the elf world shocked the anchor in his heart. For a moment, Li Qiuran lifted her head with a hint of disdain in her eyes and organized her words. Sure enough, the healing medicine in your world is pretty good, but the details are a bit rough. You can send me the various data of your elf later, and I will customize it for you. Li Qiuran spoke very tactfully. But Xiao Gang is not a fool either, so he naturally heard Li Qiuran's true meaning. The healing medicine in the elf world is too rough. How amazing is the level of biotechnology in this world. It seems like I'm going to hug my thighs. Xiao Gang felt a sense of joy in his heart. Xiao Gang. I will send it to you immediately. In the garden outside the laboratory. At this moment, it is autumn, and the autumn wind brings up large pieces of fallen leaves, blowing the green grass. The air is filled with the fragrance of nature. After sleeping well, little fire dragon went to the garden to play with Li Qiuran's company. Although he is a type of lizard elf, he stands and walks on both feet, swaying and twisting his buttocks, with a very cute posture. Gaha. The little dragon ran to the flower bushes with a bumpy butt, carefully grasping its tail to avoid burning the grass. Pick up your feet and playfully play with the wildflowers with your other little paw. Gaha. Little fire dragon loves flowers very much, they are very fragrant, and the taste is similar to what he smelled before he was born. His body couldn't help but lean forward, wanting to lightly tap the wild flower with his nose, but he didn't stand firm and the whole dragon fell and ate feces. Ga woo woo. He hurriedly got up, covered in grass shavings. With a sniff, 2 tears immediately covered his eyes. How could you be so careless? Li Qiuran hurried over and gently patted the grass on little fire dragon's body, comforting him softly. Gaga gaga gaga. The little fire dragon buried its head in Li Qiuran's arms and rubbed it randomly, wiping the tears that were about to fall onto Li Qiuran's clothes. Ben Long cannot cry, a man cannot cry. Then he turned around and pointed to the land, shouting wildly. Li Qiuran immediately laughed and said along with little fire dragon's meaning, it's just that this land is too excessive and makes your feet slippery. You should be scolded. Little fire dragon immediately smiled and nodded vigorously, then ran towards other places to play. Xiao Gang. In our world, elves are our best companions and family. Yeah, it's hard to imagine their intelligence being so high, almost indistinguishable from children. Li Qiuran couldn't help but sigh. The genetic and biological intelligence of this world is generally low, and it is not on the same level as elves. Xiao Gang. As long as you continue to create elves, the world will also be like an elf world. Yeah, the world must have been beautiful back then. Xiao Gang. Anchor, you are the most talented person I have ever seen. I rely on you for my healing. Li Qiuran and Xiao Gang smiled as they watched the little dragon frolicking in the garden. People from different worlds both felt the innocence and immaturity of the newborn elf. Gaha. The little dragon ran to a smooth large stone with a curious expression on its face. This is an ornamental stone bought by Li Qiuran. It is 1.5 meters high and very hard. The little fire dragon tentatively extended its small paw and poked the rock, then nodded slowly. Its right paw rose high, and its sharp claw shone with a cold light in the golden sunlight. Xiao Gang. Oh no, he wants to use his claws. Why is the newborn elf so reckless? The anchor, stop him. Seeing Li Qiuran standing still in place, Xiao Gang became anxious. Click. The sharp claws fell and picked up a small piece of gravel. On the other hand, little fire dragon looked excited and jumped up and down in place. Asterisk greater than or equal to less than or equal to, Xiao Gang. Underscore, did I get slapped again? Why is the newborn dragon so fierce? I have data on Xiahulong here, and that kind of ornamental stone won't harm him, Li Qiuran said confidently. Xiao Gang. Is this the big shot? I'm worrying aimlessly. Gaha. Little fire dragon ran to Li Qiuran with a small piece of gravel in his hand, offering it to him. That's really impressive. Li Qiuran took the stone and praised little fire dragon fiercely. This stone can make a necklace, Li Qiuran placed the stone. And in this moment, the little dragon had already chased the butterfly in the garden. Gaha. The garden echoed with the laughter of the little dragon. The butterfly was frightened and flew high into the air when it first saw a creature like the little fire dragon. The little short-legged fire dragon was angry and anxious below, jumping several times without even catching the butterfly's exhaust. In a fit of anger, he waved his paws wildly, giving off a feeling of incompetence and rage. Carrot, Ga. The impatient little dragon felt an unbearable itching in its throat, and in the next moment, it even spewed out a flame. Ga. The little fire dragon quickly covered its mouth and looked panicked as it watched the butterflies flying wildly in the air. He just wanted to play with butterflies and had no intention of hurting him. Woo. He looked helplessly at Li Qiuran, his eyes moist again. Don't worry, butterfly will be fine, Li Qiuran comforted for a while. Afterwards, I exclaimed that raising an elf is really like raising a child. At night, little fire dragon's energy had exhausted, lying on Li Qiuran's bed sleeping soundly, with its fiery tail hanging at the edge of the bed, emitting a faint glow in the dark room. Li Qiuran lay down next to the little dragon, gently embracing it. The sensation of her belly was wonderful, just like warm water, warm and smooth. The back of the little fire dragon is covered with scales, and it feels a little prickly to the touch. In my ear was the faint snoring of a small fire dragon, holding a small fire dragon that looked like a small stove. The clear moonlight lingered in the room through the window, unwilling to leave for a long time. Li Qiuran still feels a bit dazed. Everything is like a dream. I am holding on to the elf. This night is really beautiful. Beautiful as a dream, afraid of waking up. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Training. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6. Training. Until dawn approached, Li Qiuran fell into a deep sleep. In her dream, Li Qiuran dreamt of herself waking up. The house was empty, but when I opened the door, it turned out to be an empty space. Gaha. Countless little fire dragons lifted their heads and smiled brightly at Li Qiuran on the green space. This is heaven. Li Qiuran rushed over and plunged into the group of little fire dragons, with a soft and warm touch, but how could it be it's so wet? Li Qiuran suddenly woke up with a start. Suddenly discovered the little dragon lying on the head of the bed, holding a plastic water cup in its claws. The water cup tilted, and the clear water inside slowly dripped onto Li Qiuran's face. The first rule of the elf survival guide is to do whatever it takes to make a living. Li Qiuran. Black JPG Little Fire Dragon. Oh no, I was caught. Gaha. Little fire dragon casually withdrew his water glass, called out softly, blinked his big eyes, and rubbed his stomach. The second rule of the elf survival guide. Being cute is omnipotent. Are you hungry? Li Qiuran wiped the water off her face, and her brain, which had just woken up, was inevitably in a state of shutdown. Dumbfounded, Li Qiuran quickly took out a specially made small dragon ration from the machine. A scientifically formulated combination of meat and vegetables, shaped like dog food, topped with a layer of elf-edible cheese, the pungent aroma immediately permeates the entire room. Even Li Qiuran, who had just woken up, couldn't help but drool. Ow! Little fire dragon devoutly held his rice bowl in both hands and ate it big, his face filled with satisfaction and contentment. Eating well, sleeping well, growing up obediently, our little fire dragon is really good, Li Qiuran couldn't help but sigh. But after praising it, I felt something was wrong and touched my wet hair. Is little fire dragon well behaved? What's wrong? After the little dragon had eaten and drunk enough, Li Qiuran brought the little dragon to the grassland area of the breeding ground. Start live streaming. Xiao Gang enters the live broadcast room. Hello quickly, Li Qiuran couldn't help but sigh. Xiao Gang. After breakfast, I've been waiting for the broadcast. So idle. Xiao Gang. I am the owner of the Taoist temple. It will open later. Have you met Xiaoji? Li Qiuran asked. Li Qiuran vaguely remembers that Xiao Gang chose to travel after meeting Xiaoji. Xiao Gang. Who is Xiaoji? It seems that the plot hasn't arrived yet. Li Qiuran nodded secretly. Xiao Gang. Anchor, take a look at Little Fire Dragon. Little Fire Dragon, say hello to the water friends in the live broadcast room, Li Qiuran shouted at the Little Fire Dragon rolling on the grass, pointing to the invisible camera. Gaha. The Little Fire Dragon, covered in grass shavings, ran towards him with a confused expression and tilted its head. Water friends in the live broadcast room. There's clearly nothing there. Is it possible that the owner has an eye problem? What should I do if there is a problem? Little Fire Dragon looked carefully at Li Qiuran, who had a smile on his face. Gaha. He tilted his head in confusion. Xiao Gang. Anchor, your little dragon doesn't seem to be very smart Yazi. Xiao Gang's mind is balanced. If an elf with outstanding physical abilities still surpasses an ordinary elf in intelligence, then the world will be too unfair. Li Qiuran expressionlessly took out Xiahulong's snacks from his arms and pointed at the camera, saying, Xiahulong, hello to water friends. There are snacks to eat. Little Fire Dragon. Oh. Gaha. Immediately shook his hand towards the camera, even pounding his chest and feet. Xiao Gang. Little Fire Dragon, today we're going to train our skills. After playing, Li Qiuran began his training today. Elves can learn new skills and even evolve through training. No, after Little Fire Dragon evolves, its temper will become irritable. Li Qiuran discovered a blind spot. Angry. Sorry, our world has high requirements for character. If the elf's personality becomes too irritable in the future, they will be asked to retreat, Li Qiuran frowned. Xiao Gang. However, the elves you create, the anchor, are still slightly different from those in our world, so perhaps personality can be controlled. In theory, there should be no problem, Li Qiuran pondered for a moment. Many aromatherapy and dietary products in this world can have a calming effect. And Li Qiuran deliberately added many genes of gentle personality when creating Little Fire Dragon. Let's start training. Li Qiuran prepared to first understand the abilities of Little Fire Dragon. Xiao Gang. In theory, a newborn fire dragon should possess skills such as claw attack, flames, barking/wagging its tail, or smoke screen. Xiao Gang. Now that Xiao has mastered claw attacks, flames, and wagging his tail, we should try to teach him smoke screen. Xiao Gang. Smoke curtain. Blows smoke at the opponent, reducing their hit rate. With Xiao Gang, the master of future elf cultivation, cultivating elves will be much easier. Little Fire Dragon, try using smoke screen. Li Qiuran explained the skill of smoke screen to Little Fire Dragon for a moment before giving the order. Gah! Little Fire Dragon looked bewildered. How can I smoke when I can't even control the flames? Li Qiuran pondered for a moment. Imagine the feeling of smoke swirling in your throat after inhaling the fire, It's like taking a sip of smoke after smoking. Xiao Gang went crazy and said, Anchor. What kind of ghost is smoking? What kind of ghost metaphor is this? Cough cough, it's like after you've finished spraying fire, you always have to exhale. Imagine you've already finished spraying fire, you're going to swallow the clouds and exhale the mist, Li Qiuran sneered. Gah! The little dragon pouted and pondered for a moment, as if the little brain had caught something. Close your eyes and brew your emotions. Imagine your stomach filled with foul-smelling black smoke. I want to vomit myself. The little fire dragon arched its back and raised its tail high. I only felt a sudden burning sensation in my abdomen, which then turned into a tingling sensation. It's like eating your stomach and wanting to vomit. The little dragon quickly covered its mouth, feeling anxious inside. Oh no! The lunch today was particularly delicious. Can't vomit. If you vomit, you'll lose. Oh Xiao Gang. Why do you have to block your mouth? Li Qiuran. Stupid JPG. What's wrong? Li Qiuran crouched down with concern and touched the head of Little Fire Dragon, wanting to examine it. It is very normal for Little Fire Dragon to have some minor physical problems shortly after birth. So when the problem occurs, it should be resolved as soon as possible. But the little dragon's eyes were panicked and his throat twitched again. It's not working. Put down the paw that covers your mouth and open your mouth. Ouch! A black smoke curtain sprayed out of his mouth, giving Li Qiuran a smoke bath in front of him. Li Qiuran. Xiao Gang. Hiccup. The little fire dragon, who was well aware of the trouble, covered its mouth again. He even hiccuped and looked flustered. Oh no, isn't dinner gone? Cough cough. Li Qiuran waved his hand and patted off the smoke, looking at the little fire dragon in front of him with anger and laughter. Gaha. The little fire dragon showed a harmless expression on its face, softly nursing. This little fire dragon is a bit naughty. Li Qiuran felt like he was not doing well anymore. I'll go clean it up. You can exercise yourself, little fire dragon. The audit team will come to test tomorrow, he said with a dazed expression, stumbling. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Let humans from other worlds experience magic. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7. Let humans from other worlds experience magic. The next afternoon, Li Qiuran and others stood in the company lobby waiting for the arrival of the audit team. All genetic organisms created need to go through the process of the review team. Due to poor finances, including Li Qiuran and Secretary Qin Yuyu, the size of the red and white company is already less than 10 people. The tiles in the hall were bright and clean, and the little dragon looked curiously at the reflection in the tiles. A small orange dragon with innocent eyes. How spicy am I? Do I look good? Asterisk greater than or equal to less than or equal to, gahaha. The little dragon happily rolled on the ground. The cleaning work of the red and white company is very thorough, so Li Qiuran let little fire dragon play. Wow, our company has really created elemental creatures. An employee covered his mouth and couldn't believe it. He had planned to resign in the next few days, but it seems that his resignation plan will be postponed. Look at the flames on his tail, which fire-type creature on the market can achieve this level? It's going to be popular, our red and white company is going to be invincible. As long as the review is approved, our red and white company will take off, and we, the old employees, will definitely have options. Several old employees also remained steadfast during the period when the red and white company was about to go bankrupt, and now they have finally come to terms with it. Xiao Gang. Anchor, what is the review team? Xiao Gang was a bit confused, as there was a significant difference between the world where Li Qiuran lived and the elf world, which deeply attracted him. He couldn't wait to learn more. Li Qiuran patiently explained. The audit team, also known as the Xiao Element Safety Audit Organization, is a mandatory audit process for all element spirits. Composed of elite individuals from the Xia Kingdom, elemental creatures can be sold after passing the initial review. However, there will be 2.5 periodic tests in the next 3 months. If the safety of elemental creatures is not passed during the review period, they will be taken down, and those already sold will need to be recycled and compensated twice the amount of money to the buyer. Due to the heated discussions sparked by the previous Pokémon video, the review team immediately noticed all of this and accelerated the review process of Red and White Company. Xiao Gang. Hahaha, looking forward to Xiao Hulong's excellent performance. Xiao Gang is very confident that the little fire dragon created by Li Qiuran, even if placed in the elf world, is still a top qualified elf, and passing the limited review is not a problem. It's definitely not a big problem. Li Qiuran smiled slightly, his face full of confidence, but he still felt a bit uneasy inside, afraid that little fire dragon might fall off the chain during the review period. Here we go. Suddenly, someone pointed to the door. At this moment, the members of the audit team walked into the Red and White Company wearing black clothes. As soon as they stepped into the company, their eyes were attracted by the small fire dragon rolling on the ground. The audit team leader, who has gone through countless battles and has audited over 1,000 creatures, was immediately attracted by the flames on his tail when he saw the little dragon. Does it look like a dragon? No, it should be a red lizard with flames burning on its tail. It has such strong flame control ability, and this may be the top fire-type creature on the market. His combat power may not be low, so let him play directly in the company hall. His personality should be relatively stable. Countless thoughts flashed through the head of the audit team. Then he greeted with a smile and said, "Is this your company's elemental biology? It's really impressive. Hahaha, this way, please." Li Qiuran picked up the little dragon and led the audit team towards the underground breeding base of Hombai Company. Xiao Hulong let out a whimper and buried his head in Li Qiuran's arms, afraid to look at the auditors wearing black clothes. "I feel a bit fierce and scared." But after smelling the breath on Li Qiuran's body, he also calmed down a lot. His curiosity overcame his fear and he secretly lifted his head. Unexpectedly, they met the gaze of the reviewers. Ow! The little fire dragon let out a barking dog and quickly buried his head in Li Qiuran's arms, his heart beating vigorously. Sigma, Omega, is identical to, it's so spiritual. The reviewer was surprised in their heart, even though they had seen countless genetic creatures, they were also shocked by little fire dragon at this moment. Before coming, they had discussed the authenticity of videos from Red and White companies on the internet. Almost all auditors reported a negative attitude. From the current performance of Little Fire Dragon, it is highly likely that the Pokémon video from Red and White Company is authentic. Not to mention the abilities of Little Fire Dragon, just igniting flames with its tail can attract a huge fan base. In the field of elemental biology, Xiao has always been tightly controlled by large foreign companies, and even the best flame duck at the time could only stand out as a palm-sized flame. If the little fire dragon's flame ability is outstanding, perhaps it can become the first fire-type creature in the Xia Kingdom. We may become the first group to witness the glory of the Xia national fire system. Everyone's faces turned red and their breathing became rapid. No wonder they are fearless, the review team couldn't help but secretly think to themselves, and looked at Li Qiuran with his usual expression, feeling even more impressed. At this age, when I had just entered society and looked confused, I was already able to handle it alone. It is said that he graduated from a top university, and this creature is likely created by him. It's really admirable. A group of people entered the huge elevator. The elevator finally stopped underground. Although it is underground, the air is very fresh and there are many areas, including forest areas, ocean areas, and land areas, each covering an area of thousands of square meters. These were all built by Grandpa Li Qiuran during his lifetime, and the scale of this breeding area in Huaxia is among the best, while the little fire dragon is naturally located in the land area. The land surface is mostly genetically modified green grasslands that can survive underground, paired with flowers, and the air is filled with a natural flavor. The audit is about to begin, and the audit team is staring at the little dragon nestled in Li Qiuran's arms with fiery eyes. Little fire dragon, it's time to test. Li Qiuran patted little fire dragon's back and whispered. Woo woo woo. Little fire dragon forcefully burrowed into Li Qiuran's arms, making a fearful sob. Is your character extremely timid and afraid of strangers, a cute thing? The audit team leader secretly assessed in his heart. Don't worry, these uncles and aunties are not bad people. They want to give you a test. After Li Qiuran's good reassurance, little fire dragon tentatively raised his head with a hint of fear in his eyes. After observing for a while and seeing that this group of humans had no threatening movements, he finally withdrew from Li Qiuran's arms. But after landing, he still tightly hugged Li Qiuran's thigh. The tail obediently hangs in the air to avoid burning Li Qiuran. Cough, what's his name? Little fire dragon. Li Qiuran looked spoiled. Xiao Gang's inner thoughts. Go, little fire dragon. Let humans from other worlds experience magic. Crazy Second JPG, the new book sets sail, seeking various data. Currently, the increase is good chapter 8 and 9. Imprisonment, stay calm and wait for review, end of this chapter. Chapter 8. Preliminary testing of Little Fire Dragon. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Preliminary testing of Little Fire Dragon. Little Fire Dragon, show these uncles and aunties your abilities. Li Qiuran rubbed Little Fire Dragon's head. Gaha. Little Fire Dragon's eyes lit up. Is it time for him to perform? The stage is very big. You need to perform well yourself. Use wagging the tail. Hua hua hua. The little dragon swayed behind with its fiery tail, creating a sparkling trajectory of flames. Omega, did he understand what you were saying? A member of the audit team asked in surprise. Yes, Little Fire Dragon has an IQ of about 6 years old, just as mischievous and naive as a child. Li Qiuran nodded. Having a 6-year-old IQ, a cute and adorable appearance, and being able to act cute, is it a cute thing? Said a female auditor. For women, the killing power of cute objects is enormous. Moreover, women generally have stronger purchasing power. It seems that Red and White Company is targeting the female market. The audit team nodded secretly and looked at Li Qiuran. Little Fire Dragon has a gentle personality, is well behaved and sensible, and has a certain level of combat power. It can protect its owner. Little Fire Dragon, show off its sharp claw attacks, Li Qiuran continued. Isn't it cute to look like such a cute thing? Can you even attack? Several female auditors looked skeptical. In sight, the little dragon ran to another place, struggled to pick up a stone as big as its head, ran back with a thud, placed it on the ground, and then raised its claws. The anthropomorphic actions, it seems that the so-called 6-year-old IQ is not fictional. He wants to catch a stone. I'll retract what I said before. Maybe his IQ is not low, but he's very silly and cute, similar to so hot. Ka. The cold light shattered the rocks. Gaha. The little fire dragon happily crossed his waist. I take back everything before, this little dragon's combat power is definitely not low. The review team's eyebrows jumped wildly, continuing to record. Such sharp claws are enough to separate human bones and flesh, and the danger is extremely high. Next, it is necessary to strictly ensure that the personality of the little fire dragon is stable and gentle, otherwise it cannot be sold. So it seems that little fire dragon has quite a selling point. The experience of the audit team leader tells him that little fire dragon may have the potential to become a hot commodity. Do little fire dragon have any other skills, they asked. After seeing the sharp claws of the little fire dragon, they did not expect much from its flame power. Throughout history, there have been offensives in the biological world, making it difficult to achieve dual prominence in physical and elemental abilities. Those organisms that excel in elemental abilities are generally weak in constitution. The little fire dragon looks very energetic and powerful, so his elemental abilities are likely just a decoration. However, even so, it is still enough to go viral. And having flames on the tail can definitely be the biggest selling point. The head of the audit team's gaze lingered on the tail of the little dragon, thinking to himself. He has flame-related abilities, but he has just been born, so his abilities are unstable. Li Qiuran's face was a bit embarrassed, and he rubbed little fire dragon's head. Just do your best, don't force yourself. Xiao Gang nodded vigorously, raised his head, and tried to recall how he had sprayed fire before. At that time, I was both angry and anxious, and I really wanted Sister Butterfly to come down and play with me quickly. Xiao Gang closed his eyes and tried to simulate his mood at the time. Fantasy now that the most important person is going to walking super fast, even if their short legs run like wheels, they can't keep up. So urgent. I'm so anxious. Stop him. The little dragon suddenly opened its eyes. A scorching force in the body seemed to surge, gradually rising from the abdomen. A tingling sensation in the throat, a throbbing sensation, and something about to spray out of the mouth. Oh no, it's about to spray. Roar. A fist-sized flame erupted, drawing a beautiful arc and landing in the pool. Shoo. The flames extinguished, and the instantly rising temperature made the fish in the pool swim wildly. Hiccup. The little dragon couldn't help but let out a flame hiccup, with black smoke coming out of its mouth and a satisfied expression on its face. Comfortable now, hiccup. Little fire dragon looked eagerly at the onlookers, hoping to see a look of agreement. The audit team was all stunned and silent. After a few breaths, he exclaimed in amazement, "Am I mistaken? The flame is as big as a fist, and the elemental ability of the little fire dragon is already at the international level, isn't it?" They blushed, rubbed their eyes repeatedly, and finally looked excitedly at the cute little dragon. The little fire dragon is definitely one of the most outstanding fire-type creatures in Xia dynasty's history. Is Xiao was elemental creatures about to rise? Gulu. The review team swallowed their saliva and began recording. The claws are very sharp, with strong melee and fire abilities. Considering age, they have great potential, but the control of elemental abilities is not yet proficient, and stability needs to be tested. Mr. Li, we need to approach Little Fire Dragon for testing. The audit team focused on wearing white gloves and approached Little Fire Dragon carefully. Those in their profession must be vigilant at all times, and a slight lack of attention may lead to disability. The audit team leader carefully held the small fire dragon. The texture is soft and warm, and the personality is currently relatively close to family members. The audit team leader asked, "How long has this little fire dragon been born?" "About 3 days. I have such outstanding attack ability in 3 days," the audit team leader couldn't help but sigh. Later, they tried to tease the little dragon with some toys, but the dragon didn't pay much attention and even gave them a white eye. What a gentle elf, this white eye is also very strange, just like humans. Then they began to issue a series of commands to the little fire dragon, and the little fire dragon completed the task perfectly. The final review team leader also began to write and draw on the notebook. Currently, I have a gentle personality in good melee and elemental abilities. The flame on the tail represents vitality, so it should be kept indoors. By the way, Mr. Li, what is your pricing for the little fire dragon? The audit team leader asked. At present, the provisional price is 600,000 yuan, and the first wave of pre-sales is about 40 units. Li Qiuran pondered for a moment and said. 60W will be slightly lower, but if it's only 40, it won't hurt much. The audit team has no say in pricing and is purely curious. Good, Mr. Li, we have a general understanding of the information. Next, we need to conduct the final stage of testing for Xiaolong. If there are no issues with the testing, the audit results will be announced today. The audit team negotiated with Li Qiuran, but you need to avoid this audit. This is the final and most important review, focusing on testing the stability of the organism. Okay, Li Qiuran whispered while holding Little Fire Dragon, roughly meaning to let Little Fire Dragon behave well and wait for him outside. After his previous performance, Little Fire Dragon no longer feared the audit team and nodded obediently. Little Fire Dragon, come on, sister loves you. Qin Yuyu left a big red mark on Little Fire Dragon's forehead. Gaha. Smelling the faint fragrance on Qin Yuyu's body, Little Fire Dragon awkwardly scratched his head and handed Li Qiuran an apologetic look. Li Qiuran. Do you apologize for a yarn? This dragon has become a sperm. Xiao Gang. Woo woo woo, the kiss of the leisurely goddess. Xiao Gang's face blushed like the black stones of a volcano. End of this chapter. Chapter 9. The Heat of Red and White Company restores. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. The Heat of Red and White Company restores Xiao Gang. There's no problem with the review of Little Fire Dragon. When will the anchor create a new elf? Don't worry about the new elf's words, let's deal with the biological exhibition first, replied Li Qiuran. Xiao Gang. The anchor remembers to study my wound medicine. Xiao Gang's mind is full of benefits. Xiao Gang. Anchor, I will invite someone into your live broadcast room another day and give you a reward together. It's better to hit the sun than choose a day. Now, Li Qiuran's eyes lit up. Xiao Gang. No one. Xiao Gang really can't think of any partners to bring in, he can't bring in his parents. After the audit was completed and we had a conversation, the audit team left the Red and White Company. The result is self-evident. Little Fire Dragon easily passed the review. Gaha. The Little Fire Dragon proudly raised its head, with an expression of, praise me quickly. In just a few days, he has become less afraid of strangers, and it seems that his innate personality is still quite lively. At night, the review team's Weibo quietly released the review results of Little Fire Dragon. Red and White Company's Little Fire Dragon audit results. Name. Little Fire Dragon category. Fire element creature's physical ability. 6. Claws are extremely sharp and can currently break rocks, elemental ability. 7. Able to spray flames the size of a fist, with temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees. Element potential. 9. Tentative 9. Future potential needs time to be verified, personality. 8.5. Gentle and timid, easy to trust humans. P.S. After less than 5 minutes of contact, Little Fire Dragon is willing to be touched by us, comprehensive. 7.6. Can be raised at home or participate in combat competitions. Attached is a short test video of Little Fire Dragon. The audit team is a globally recognized organization, and the personnel employed internally are guaranteed in terms of reliability and honesty. If they are found to have fabricated, they will be tainted throughout their lives at a great cost. The first rating for the best fire-type biological flame dog in China is 6 points. After subsequent testing and positive feedback from buyers, the rating can only reach 7 points. But Little Fire Dragon has already scored 7.6 points in its initial evaluation, making it the first elemental creature in Xia country to score over 7 points in its initial evaluation. Almost implying the identity of the first fire-type creature in Xia country. For a moment, public opinion surged, and all netizens clicked on the video out of curiosity. De Zhang is a big V-blogger. His video style is famous for being realistic and daring to speak. There are not 100 gene companies that he has hammered, but also dozens. He noticed the Red and White Company when they posted the Pokémon video. Although Red and White Company has fallen into desolation, its reputation has always been good. It is a company that considers customers and biology. But the past does not mean the present. Companies on the brink of bankruptcy can do anything to turn things around. Strange, this is the first elemental creature of Red and White Company, but it can achieve such amazing scores. What is the reason behind this? It can't be cheating, can it? This is the first thought in De Zhang's mind. So he clicked on the video. A small orange lizard walking on both legs appears in the picture. This beauty is definitely loved by women. This is the first thought in De Zhang's mind. But he immediately let out a shocked shout, almost burying his head in the screen. Impossible, how could there be flames on his tail? The small flame on the tail of the little dragon was burning incessantly in the gentle breeze. Narrator. Little Fire Dragon, the flame behind its tail represents life and needs to be properly protected. As the screen turned, the little dragon showed a simple and honest smile towards the camera, giggling foolishly. Narrator. Little Fire Dragon has a gentle and stable personality. It's so cute, my young girl's heart is melting. Even though De Zhang had seen countless genetically modified creatures, he was conquered by the cute and spiritual nature of the Little Fire Dragon at this moment. Even if Little Fire Dragon is just a cute thing, it can sell well, he exclaimed sincerely. Narrator. With good combat power, sharp claws can easily tear rocks apart. The scene arrived at the sharp claws raised high, crushing a piece of rock. Afterwards is the display of flames. Although the flames were small, they ignited De Zhang's whole body. Such a magical creature is the fire-type creature in his mind. Those genetic creatures that hold the title of fire-type creatures but cannot even spray flames are simply scum in comparison. A6. Year-old child has intelligence, extremely high spirituality, balanced abilities in all aspects, and lively and interesting behavior. The Red and White Company named these creatures pet elves and declared that the Red and White Company will enter the era of elves. With the narration, the scene fell into darkness. Zhang held his breath and watched all the content. He calmed down for a long time before clicking on the video again. I watched it repeatedly at least 3 times. Silent for a long time, eyes shaking, finally picked up the pen. There is an additional comment with a big V on the Weibo of Red and White Company. De Zhang. 10 years of perseverance, like a day, bring in successful elves. I don't want to use elemental creatures to refer to Little Fire Dragon, because such a spiritually charged creature should have a better name. Little Fire Dragon, it best fits the image of an elf in my mind. De Zhang's comments have attracted countless likes from netizens. There are also many previous black fans who have turned black to black. Chi left a message. I'm sorry, Red and White Company. I feel sorry for following the trend before, I'm sorry. Some netizens have posted screenshots of the ratings of Flame Bird and Little Fire Dragon, which were previously high-selling genetic organisms on the internet, for comparison. Flame Bird physical ability. 6-element ability. 5-element potential. 5.5 personality. 4 comprehensive. 5.125 in this comparison, the rating of Flame Bird appears very shabby. As expected by everyone, Little Fire Dragon became a hot search topic. The editors who have been preparing for a long time have also released various eye-catching articles. The birth of the first fire-type creature in the Xia Kingdom. Let's explore the mystery. Cute looking, but late at night, red and white company bankruptcy. TJ eggs unexpectedly incubate. True dragons. Tonight, the flames of summer are shining brightly, shocking the world. The little dragon is on fire. Along with it, the red and white company has also become popular. It's hot, boss. Thanks to the little fire dragon, our company's popularity has recovered. Qin Yuyu smiled and stepped on high heels like a wind and fire wheel, quickly running into Li Qiuran's office to report the good news. 1, 2, 3, wood, dragon. In the office, Li Qiuran was playing with little fire dragon with wood dragon. When they heard Qin Yuyu's words, they tilted their heads in a daze. Gaha. Omega, dragon understands. Long has made great contributions. Little fire dragon is very happy. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Is this the healing medicine made by the big shot? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10. Is this the healing medicine made by the big shot? The recovery of heat has filled the entire company with fighting spirit. The little fire dragon happily rampaged through the entire breeding area. There are still 4 days left until the biological exhibition, and Li Qiuran also used this time to tailor a medicine for Xiao Gang's small fist stone. The technology level of your elf world is quite good, but the research on many details is not in place, but overall it is still very excellent and stunning. In order not to hurt Xiao Gang's self-esteem, Li Qiuran picked some good words and said. Then hang the special injury medicine in the live broadcast room for sale. Xiao Gang. Is the technology in our elf world so terrible? Actually, Xiao Gang is getting into the nitpick. There is a specialization in the craft industry. In fact, the technology of the elf world can be called comprehensive development, hexagonal warriors. But the technology in the biological world is seriously biased toward science. There will certainly be a significant gap between using one's own average ability and the other's outstanding abilities. Special injury medicine. 1 point. Xiao Gang purchased a special injury medicine. Congratulations on obtaining the special injury medicine. Translation in progress. Congratulations on obtaining advanced healing medicine. Using the small fist stone can obtain additional effects. Continuously restore health for the next 5 minutes and gain a small increase in defense and special defense. Xiao Gang. Sigma, winky face. What is the situation? Is this the strength of the anchor? Unexpectedly, one's own low-level injury medicine has become a hot and popular high-level injury medicine all at once. Still exclusive to Little Fist Stone. Is this the big shot? Xiao Gang's whole body is numb. Although I am mentally prepared, all of this is too exaggerated. Master, someone is challenging us. Should we push it off this time? At this moment, the Taoist staff outside came in and shouted. Come on. I'll be here soon. Xiao Gang's eyes lit up, and his squinting eyes widened at this moment, revealing a pair of white eyes. Xiao Gang. I withdrew from the anchor first, but there was an ignorant person challenging me. I'll go and torture him first. Number of people in the live broadcast room. 0, Li Qiuran. Good guy, just run away after receiving the benefits. Li Qiuran suddenly had an idea. If Xiao Ji challenges Xiao Gang, will he not even be able to defeat the Little Fist Stone? Li Qiuran's mouth curved with a wicked smile. Elf World. Pikachu, next we're going to challenge the owner of the Taoist temple. Come on, you can do it. On the combat platform of the Taoist temple, Xiao Ji touched Pikachu's head and said seriously. Chio. Pikachu raised his hand with fighting spirit, looking serious. Yoshi, this time we'll work hard and win the Daoguan badge, Xiao Ji shouted with a passionate expression on his face. Chio, oh. Buzz. At this moment, the door opened, revealing Xiao Gang's appearance. Cunt, black skin, and those small invisible eyes. Who challenged me? Xiao Gang hugged his shoulders with both hands. Xiao Gang felt a little surprised as his gaze touched Pikachu. Are there still people using electricity to challenge rock art galleries these days? This is too lacking in common sense. That's right, go Pikachu. Xiao Ji excitedly dispatched Pikachu, I want to defeat you. It seems like a newcomer trainer. Xiao Gang looked at Xiao Ji with a childish expression on his face, and a malicious smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. Most novice trainers are like little wits, full of passion but lacking in thinking. Since that's the case, let's feel the pain and go, little fist stone. Xiao Gang threw the elf ball from his waist. The Pokémon ball landed on the field. Bang! A red light suddenly appeared. The next moment, a small fist stone appeared opposite Pikachu. Gu-ao! Little fist stone waved his fist and smashed it onto the ground, showing a strong appearance. Go, Pikachu, use electric shock. Xiao Ji immediately issued a command. Pikachu was surrounded by lightning, and a precise lightning strike hit the small fist stone that had not yet reacted. Success! Xiao Ji couldn't help but cheer. Gu-ao! Little fist stone looked bewildered. Idiot, the electrical system is ineffective on the ground. The small fist stone is a rock and ground attribute. Are you really a trainer? Xiao Gang's mouth twitched. Cough, I see. Pikachu uses electric flint and tail attacks. Pop. Pikachu transformed into a yellow flash and hit the small fist stone. Gu-ao! Although the effect was average, Little Fist Stone still let out a mournful cry. This Little Fist Stone has just been subdued for a while, and its level is very low. Not bad, Pikachu's level is quite high. Xiao Gang calmly took out the special healing medicine from his arms and murmured to himself, it's time to verify the exclusive advanced healing medicine. Come on. The white spray of wound medicine sprayed on the small fist stone, and immediately rippled green. Gu-ao-ao. The small fist stone, which was originally in pain, immediately revived with full blood, and its fist pounded the ground with force, roaring loudly. Humph, keep attacking, Pikachu, deal with him. After seeing that the first attack was effective, Xiao Ji thought that this Nibby badge already belonged to him. Even Xiao Gang didn't care about giving Xiao Quancher the medicine for his injuries. The newcomer trainer is so impulsive, Xiao Gang said with a confident curve at the corner of his mouth, holding his shoulders and calmly looking at Pikachu, who was shrouded in the electric light, hardening. Pikachu's figure disappeared, constantly appearing around the small fist stones, each time giving the opponent an extremely powerful blow. Xiaoji secretly rejoiced in his heart and said, in the face of such a powerful attack, even the elves of the Taoist master cannot resist. Pikachu has performed exceptionally well. Then a slight illusion appeared in my heart. The level of the Taoist master is just like that, so my current level of trainer should be considered very good. Well done, Pikachu, Xiaoji couldn't help but praise. Chio. Pikachu also turned around, showing a proud expression. However, their expressions quickly froze. Young man, you're very good. Xiao Gang remained calm and stood in place, his face excited as he hit the small fist stone several times. Since joining the live broadcast room and witnessing the difficult situation of Li Qiuran's comeback, Xiao Gang has found that his mentality has also changed, becoming more confident and wanting to pursue his dreams. Young people should go out and explore more, otherwise they will have no strength and energy when they get old. At this point, Xiao Gang already had a strong desire to travel. This little fist stone can still fight. You truly deserve to be the owner of the Nibby Dojo, Pikachu, come on. Xiaoji felt like his whole body was ignited. This kind of evenly matched battle is enough to be enjoyable. Okay, it's great. Go, little fist stone, let's end him. Xiao Ji's second child, along with Xiao Gang, became passionate. 5 minutes later. Pikachu. Xiao Ji picked up Pikachu with a sad expression on his face, tears streaming down his face. I'm sorry, Pikachu, I'm too stubborn. Even though I know it's not an opponent, I still want you to continue fighting. You have to pick yourself up, Pikachu. Pikachu. I'm not dead yet. Pikachu's face was listless, with a hollowed-out appearance, and his body was already covered in scars. Don't misunderstand, little fist stone didn't strike, these injuries were all caused by reaction forces. Xiao, I'll be a dog if I play rock-type elves again in the future. Pikachu was very tired, not only physically but also mentally. My trainer is really cute and new, and the entire command on the field is, Pikachu, use your tail to attack. After spending most of the day fighting against the small fist stone on the opposite side, not only was there nothing wrong, but he was almost lying on the lounge chair drinking good juice. How could I stand up for such a trainer? Pikachu felt despair in his heart. This time it was really hollowed out. My head tilted and I fainted. Pikachu. Xiao Ji suddenly let out a heart-wrenching cry. Alright, he just lost his strength. Hurry up and go to the treatment center, Xiao Gang couldn't help but cover his ears and said helplessly. He looked at the still excited little fist stone and the hint of fluorescence, and his heart was filled with admiration. Is this the big shot's medicine? It's invincible. This is truly a evenly matched battle. Thank you very much for the support of your face filled with smoke. Voting every day is very touching. End of this chapter.